I hope everyone's having a great day today. Welcome back. My name's HODLGod, and I just wanted to go over a little bit of the new news regarding the Flare network and their new project called Songbird. Now, for a lot of those individuals out there, especially in the XRP/Ripple space, they know about Flare, they know what it's doing, they know about the Spark token. But for those that don't know, Flare is a new network that's coming out, supposedly supposed to have been come out this month, but I guess will be pushed back. And Flare Network is essentially just trying to be, a network that is going to be the first Turing complete FBA network. And what does Turing complete FBA network mean? Well, FBA stands for Federated Byzantine Agreement System. And how it works essentially is all these networks and these cryptocurrencies, they all focus on decentralization and how they're going to be a 51% attack if too many people hold this much percentage of it. So we need to figure out a way that there can't be this attack. So the Federated Byzantine Agreement System works on that when things are being completed, it has to come to a consensus. And how that consensus works is essentially, here, I'll just read it off. To avoid the problem of having 51% attack or having a majority-based node system, to avoid this problem and still make the federated way possible, FBA uses quorum slices. The basic idea is that any node chooses which other nodes they trust. Let's say you want to run a consensus and know that your friend Alice, Bob, and Carol are also participating. You define your quorum slices by saying, I'm convinced if two of those three are also convinced. So essentially, if two of the three people are convinced, even you, then you are convinced. So in these examples here, you, Alice, Bob, if Alice and Bob are convinced of the same thing, then you're convinced. If you and Alice are convinced of the same thing, then this is quorum slice is convinced that this is the answer. So it's just a way to alleviate that stressful environment of having 51% attacks. So yeah, the Flare network is trying to state that they're the world's first Turing complete FBA network. Now, FBA is a little bit different than other networks because, there's a lot of Turing complete networks. Ethereum's a Turing complete network. Programming languages themselves, all of them that are utilized are Turing complete networks, or not networks, program languages. And so the Ethereum network, the blockchain, the Bitcoin's blockchain, those are all Turing complete. Now, what does Turing complete means? It just means that Turing complete or computationally universal if it can be used to simulate any Turing machine, meaning that something being Turing complete can simulate a Turing machine. What a Turing machine is essentially it's an infinite strip of tape, and say there's letters or there's numbers on it, and there's a machine that's running across that tape, and on each section of the tape there's a letter or that number, and the machine reads it. It can push out a different user-generated specific instruction from reading that symbol or number, and then go on to the next one, and it just keeps doing that infinitely with never stopping. If that were to stop, if it couldn't figure out something, then the computation itself would stop, and then it wouldn't be called Turing complete. So I mean, this is just a very arbitrary thing to even say in regards towards this, especially saying that it's first Turing complete FBA network, because with that it means that everything's an FBA network, right? Everything's a federated Byzantine agreement. Not really. There's only two, Stellar and Ripple. Well, they're the most notable, and they're pretty much the only ones out there that are doing these things. So if you're the third person that's doing it, then it's not that big of a deal. Now, of course, it's scalable, doesn't base safety on native token, low transaction costs, integrates Ethereum virtual machine. Cool beans. Everything that anyone's trying to do with anything. They're trying to make a scalable network. They're trying to have low transaction costs. The world's first Turing complete FBA network, meaning that it's trying to be decentralized like every other single network. There's literally no difference here. This literally matters not. Now with Flare, they introduced the airdrop with the Spark tokens for XRP holders. during a snapshot in December of 2020, meaning that you would get Spark tokens that were going to be run on the Flare network. And we were promised those, beginning of spring, and then that was pushed back to July. And now, introducing Songbird. Right here, Songbird. And now the Spark tokens, because the Flare network's not even going to be out till September, delayed of course, but this is the new project, Songbird. Introducing Songbird, the Canary Network for Flare. We're excited to release our updated plans on the development and launch of Flare, yada, yada, yada. We will now progress to live testing on an operational blockchain in an adversarial environment. So big words, great. I love it. I love big words. None of this matters. In the next 6 weeks, we'll be releasing a Canary Network for Flare called Songbird. So they're not even going to release this thing for another, month and a half. Great. Fantastic. What is a Canary Network? Canary Network is an operational blockchain with a defined and hence scarce token supply that is intended to be used to test features for a related main net. So again, just big useless jargon that is just pointless. So what it's trying to say is that this token is going to just be intended to test. That's it. Cool. Great. So on the Canary Network, users have the balance that cannot just be replenished at will. This is contrast to testnet, which generally has an unlimited token supply available in increments to any user through a faucet. Cool. I'm glad everyone knows what any of this means. No, so they're just basically saying that this is just a token that's going to be tested on something. It's going to have a very limited quantity, and that's what they're going to use it for. So here it talks about the scarce token supply. It says the defined and scarce token supply may confer value to the token. So that just means that essentially when something is not that much, that means that the value must be real much. So holographic Charizard cards, if you have them and other people don't have them, they're like, oh, pay $40 million for that because there's only 10 of them in existence. So this is just saying that maybe because of the scarce token supply, this may confer value to the token, which is just why would you even say that? It seems like a pump. That seems like a pump saying right there, oh my goodness, there's not that many of this, so the value to the Songbird token might go really high. And then they say potentially making it attractive to attackers such that testing is as real as it can possibly get. So they're saying that it could get very high, which means that it's going to be attractive to attackers. Again, the decentralization thing, such that testing is as real as it possibly can get, meaning that, oh my God, everyone's going to be hacking the Flare network. Everyone's going to be attacking it. They're going after Flare. Hey, Flare, watch out. And they're going to, they're going to be able to test these things because it could be real. So they just back up. They're just saying that yeah, sure, it's going to be high in value because that's going to be great because then it's going to make attackers want to come and attack the system so that we can test it and it's going to be real. And then they follow this up with, this allows for the hardening of the system under testing. So again, what I was just saying, we're going to test it by saying that this value of this token is extremely high. People are going to try and attack it because they want to, and then it's going to help us test better under harder conditions. So quite silly. What is the purpose of Songbird? It will have two distinct phases. Prior to the launch of Flare, Songbird will be instrumental to continued testing of the Flare time series Oracle and State Connector and F-Asset system and network architecture. Again, big words. If you have no idea what these mean, you have to just look them up and you have to see what in the hell they're actually talking about. No one really knows. It's all based on their thoughts. Who cares? Whatever, screw you guys. This isn't for toddlers. So the FTCO and F-Asset protocols will be live on Songbird with F-Assets generated from the underlying tokens. Yeah, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And also, this will improve the security, stability, and credibility for the ultimate launch of Flare. So it's just what? This is going to be good, not just on its own, but it's also amazing for Flare because of decentralization. We need security, we need stability, and we need credibility. And I think that this actually doesn't really give it the credibility. It's just showing that they don't maybe know what they're doing, or that it's taking way longer than they expected, and they don't really want to come out with it saying, hey, this is actually really hard. So they're just, trying to throw a rag over the. So they're basically just trying to, hide everything, sweep everything under the rug. So, I mean, it's weird. So we'll go on. And then after this, Songbird is intended to be a long-term network for testing governance-led changes to Flare, such as incorporation of new F assets, changes to FTSO, F asset systems, or any other network. So they're like, you know what? But even after it does the testing, we're going to keep it there to test governance because it's going to be great for that. So then there's two core uses for song periods and all periods. The first one's advanced testing and community building for applications. Same thing that we've already been told a million times in this little blog. Then it says, ideally all applications launch on Flare, especially those on the F system, FTSO, will test initially on Songbird. Well, okay, cool. So it's going to go on Songbird first, and then it's going to go on Flare. Fantastic. Let's just have a slow clap here. Second, as a way for Flare token holders to familiarize themselves with key Flare protocols, such as delegation to the FTCO, minting of F assets, and usage of applications that build on Flare without putting their Flare tokens at risk. So it's just, it's a way. These are the same thing. It's just really weird that they put them into two different core uses. First is that it's going to be advanced testing and community building, and the applications that launch on Flare are going to launch initially and test on Songbird. And then on the second one, it says it's a way for token holders to familiarize themselves with key Flare protocols such as delegation. So it's just like, yeah, so if Flare token holders with Songbird were testing things, so you can be able to familiarize yourself with something. And then also with Songbird, we're testing things, so we're going to test the tokens before they go on Flare. So yeah, I mean, it just should be one core use. Then it goes on, Songbird token will have its own token, Songbird, of course, we're crazy. And it's going to be distributed once only in the same ratio of the same participants as the Flare distribution. So there's going to be 15 billion with initial inflation 10%. It means that every 1 XRP that was held at the time of the snapshot, 0.1511 Songbird will be allocated. So, just 15% of your 1 XRP, essentially. Well, I mean, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but you get the gist. And if you had 1 XRP, you're going to get 0.15 of Songbird. Cool, great, fantastic to hear. So I'm getting Songbird first, and then I'm getting Spark after. There's going to be no predefined minting reward protocols. Set of supply will remain with the Flare Foundation. If you claim Flare through self-custody, you will use the same Ethereum style address. This is if you didn't, have the snapshot and you did it through your own custody because it was on a cold wallet. And then the governance, similar to Flare, that should be token can be used to perform a governance role. Unlike Flare, this would not be over the implementation of changes of Songbird itself. Governance could, however, be useful in adding additional chains, prices, and F assets. Same thing we've been hearing before in this entire thing. Who cares? Nobody cares. Launch order. Songbird will launch first as a pure EVM. EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine. If you didn't know that, well, guess what? Not many people do. So this paper that they're writing is not for toddlers. It's for geniuses. It's for geniuses. And so if you're reading this, it's just basically to make you confused and be like, yeah, big word. EVM is a good abbreviation. People will know what EVM means. Yes, everyone knows these things. So it'll first be a pure EVM smart contract network. This will enable testing of the network architecture and for testing dApps, testing, great. Flare launch. It will launch, Flare will launch after substantial testing of all systems Songbird with the current final security audit. So Flare is going to launch after the testing, and they hope to finish at the end of September. Yes, my asshole. I completely doubt it. Chaos warning. This is the last bit of it. I don't know why they wrote this. Well, this is the last paragraph. I mean, I know why they wrote it, but still, just chaos. Songbird should not be considered a production-ready network. It is for testing of the integrity of the proposed production network, Flare, which is the network proposed. I don't know why, on the Flare network, I don't know, whatever. Proposed governance updates over time and the Flare core protocols and dApps launching on Flare. The Flare team makes no promise to continue support of development of Songbird in the future. Okay, so you're giving me Songbird tokens, but you guys don't make any promises that you're going to develop this any further for it to be better than just, you know, decentralization, maybe have an actual utility. Okay, cool. The team at Flare and likely the various teams testing their dApps on Songbird will be actively trying to find exploit bugs and other issues and break the network. So you're saying that you guys are just going to test it to see if you can break it because it's going to be so attractive because it's scarce, and so that it's broken, and so that I couldn't even use what you gave me. So what is the point of me even having Songbird? Please therefore be aware that Songbird comes with a potential for loss of liveliness. Of liveliness? Is Songbird going to kill me? Am I going to die from this? Token loss and risk that is potentially greater than mainnet deployments? I don't want this. What are you talking about? Token loss of what? Is it just Songbird tokens? Or are they going to find an exploit that can somehow go into other, you know, blockchains or the Ethereum network, or go into just, you know, a Coinbase account and then steal all my other tokens? What is this token loss? Is it just Songbird token loss? So it comes with, be aware. Don't give me this. I don't even want this, dude. This does nothing for me. It does nothing for anyone. All it's doing is for Hugo Filion, the co-founder, is to help him test his network so people can attack it, because they're going to make it, you know, scarce. So the value is going to be high. So it's like a pump and dump. It's so stupid. This is dumb. Like, I really hate these kinds of things. And it just even adds more fuel to the fire with this Flare network that it's just ridiculous. It's been ridiculous this entire time for the time frame, and now it's even more ridiculous with what they're doing. So I think that, you know, as an XRP holder and as a person in favor of Ripple, I think that essentially we should just not care about this. Please don't care about Flare. Flare's stupid. Songbird's stupid. Just, you know, if anything else comes about this, just, you know, push it under the rug, just like they're pushing everything under the rug, and forget about it completely. I hope you enjoyed that video, and until next time, I'll catch you later.